Recently, mass transportation has been at the center of a debate concerning its possible effects on such pressing topics as pollution, overpopulation, and traffic congestion. Most agree that a healthy mass transportation system will help alleviate pollution and traffic problems, as well as give the growing population reliable, quick, and easy transportation. In cities like Portland, Oregon, light rail has become an integral part of their mass transportation system, as well as a tourist draw, and most importantly, a working solution to these problems. With all the present discussions on integrating light rail into cities' mass transportation systems, it is interesting to note that even before these problems of pollution and traffic, most American cities already had a form of light rail. In the beginning of the 1900s, early forms of light rail, including trolleys, cable cars, and other electric interurbans, were a common sight in many cities and towns across America. The small town of Eugene, Oregon, as well as other Oregon cities like Salem and Portland, was no exception. Eugene's expansive trolley system had a humble beginning. On February 24, 1891, the Eugene City Council passed an ordinance granting Henry W. Holden the right to build a mule-drawn trolley system in Eugene. The mule car era, however, never did blossom into Mr. Holden's dream and eventually faded around the turn of the century. Eugene was without a street railway for a number of years until, on July 10, 1907, the City Council approved another ordinance allowing the Willamette Valley Company to start construction on a new electric streetcar line. In a related action, the council also awarded Eugene's first street paving contract, which would coincide with the building of the street railway. On August 27, 1907, at a cost of $8,000, 3 trolley cars arrived from the St. Louis Car Company. All cars were equipped with air brakes and electric heaters and could carry up to 100 people.
The system began in 1907 and consisted of 2 main lines, one which ran out Willamette to about 17th or 19th Streets, which was country, open country in those days, and the other line which came off Willamette and ran out to University of Oregon on 11th.
Large crowds gathered on the streets to witness the starting of the cars. The juice was turned on, and while the band played and the people shouted, the car whizzed up Willamette Street and on out 11th Street to the U of O. The Guard, September 12, 1907.
After the opening of the streetcar line, many urged expansion of the system to Eugene's sister city, Springfield. However, negotiations with Southern Pacific for crossing the main line and the building of a 600-foot bridge across the Willamette River took considerable time. 3 years after the opening of the original trolley line, the Springfield line was completed and the first car rolled over the new bridge and into Springfield on October 22, 1910.
But that bridge only lasted for 10 years. It was washed out in a great flood. Interestingly enough, instead of building a new line, they simply utilized the Southern Pacific branch line that ran over to Springfield, which is the only time that I've ever heard of that a trolley line actually ran on a mainline steam railroad.
In 1913, the Eugene Street Railway was at its peak, with 12.8 miles of track within the city limits and 2.36 miles from the city limits to Springfield. The system was sold once again to its final owner, railroad giant Southern Pacific, on July 1, 1915. But with the Roaring Twenties also came cheap automobiles, creating the downfall of many early interurban systems.
It was a result of 2 things. One, the trolley company, with the advent of automobiles, the trolley company was really beginning to lose money. And I think the other reason, the bus companies, 2 or 3 of the biggest bus companies, one of them being General Motors, sort of pulled an underhanded trick and offered companies that own the trolley lines buses at ridiculously low prices, because they knew that if they got the trolleys converted to buses, that they'd be able to sell buses forever to the companies. Those are the 2 main reasons that that, like every other city and town, Eugene converted over. But I think that the system played a definite role in public transportation for 17 years, and then also helped develop the various neighborhoods and residential tracts which now exist running all the way out to the South Hills. So it, for the short time really that it lasted, it served an excellent purpose.
On Saturday, October 15th, 1927, the Southern Pacific ended the Eugene trolley era by replacing the trolleys with buses. Most of the track was removed, and now the only reminder of a forgotten time is a one-block section of old track and a few fading memories.